There's a very good chance that 30% of the words coming out of my mouth right now are actually Greek.
It's completely true. Today, in this explainer, we're skipping past those classic postcard illusions. Forget the whitewashed islands and endless olive oil tastings for a second. We're looking at a place loaded with absolute paradoxes and wild rules you've definitely never heard of.
That 30% statistic absolutely blew my mind when I first saw it. The scale is just massive. We're talking about roughly 150,000 modern English words that trace their roots straight back to ancient Greece.
And the contrast there is literally absurd. You've got a country of about 11 million people today, and their language built the foundational vocabulary for something spoken by 1.5 billion people. Every time you use words like democracy, philosophy, cinema, or even telephone, you are literally speaking Greek.
Exactly, and their geography is honestly just as surprising as their language. When you picture Greece, you instantly think of pristine beaches, right? But it's actually 80% mountainous. It is one of the most rugged, mountainous nations in all of Europe. Those famous beaches you see all over Instagram are mostly just tucked in between huge mountain ranges that drop straight into the sea.
Which is wild, especially since they also have the 11th longest coastline on Earth. It's scattered across over 6,000 islands. But here's the real kicker. Out of those 6,000, only about 200 actually have permanent residents. The vast majority are completely wild and unexplored. And living among all that ancient, rugged terrain leads to some pretty hilarious modern rules. For instance, it is highly illegal to wear high heels at ancient sites like the Acropolis.
Wait, seriously?
Yes, absolutely illegal. A stiletto heel concentrates so much weight into such a tiny point that it actually exerts more pressure per square centimeter than a walking elephant. It can permanently destroy stone that has somehow survived for 2.5 millennia.
I absolutely love that. And speaking of strict rules, voting in Greece is legally mandatory for everyone over 18. It's a strict duty on the books. But because enforcement is historically non-existent, practically everyone treats it as an optional cultural practice. It's just a total shrug.
But the one thing they definitely do not shrug off is their history. They go all in. Within Greece alone, there are over 110 dedicated archaeological museums. No other country on Earth has that kind of density, entirely devoted to digging up and displaying their own past.
And that incredible historical density spills right out to the rest of the world. Get this, 1 in 5 objects in major global museums comes from the ancient Greek world. Walk into almost any major museum on Earth, and 20% of the ancient artifacts trace straight back to Greece.
Which completely makes sense when you think about what they invented. Democracy, theater, the Olympics, central heating, but my absolute favorite, the vending machine.
Wait, the ancient Greeks had vending machines?
They did. In the 1st century AD, the mathematician Hero of Alexandria invented a coin-operated machine to dispense holy water in Egyptian temples. They were automating holy water over 2,000 years ago.
Automated holy water. That is just amazing. Of course, not everything they came up with stood the test of time. Take their beauty standards. Back then, a unibrow was the ultimate sign of extreme intelligence and absolute beauty, particularly for women. If you didn't have one naturally, you would literally draw a fake unibrow on your forehead using charcoal.
Charcoal unibrows. Incredible. Let's fast forward to a modern secret they have absolutely perfected: longevity. The Greek island of Ikaria is one of only 5 blue zones in the world where people regularly live past 100 in great health. Sure, they've got the Mediterranean diet, daily activity, regular naps, but the absolute best part? They actively ignore the measurement of time. They literally live longer by simply ignoring the clock.
Honestly, ignoring the clock is a life strategy I need to adopt immediately. Or maybe their real secret to a long life is just warding off bad vibes. Have you heard of the futu tradition? It's the sound of a Greek person making a symbolic spitting noise to protect you from the evil eye and bad luck.
Exactly. So if you are ever visiting, consider this essential travel advice. Symbolic spitting is actually a gesture of deep affection. Locals will symbolically spit on newborns, brides, or even if someone just gives you a really great compliment. So if someone spits near your baby, do not get offended. Take it as a massive compliment.
I will definitely try to remember that the next time I am at a Greek wedding. But seriously, looking at all of this, it completely reframes how you see the entire place.
It really does. It's so much more than just a sunny spot to take a vacation. Greece is the country that built the vocabulary and the values that the modern world still runs on.